Kevin Costner has allegedly left Hollywood to become a deep-sea treasure hunter after a scathing article labeled him as a stubborn prick who's impossible to work with, whether it's Waterworld or Yellowstone. It's been a tough few weeks for America's former sweetheart, Kevin Costner. Just a few years ago, he was on top of the world starring as John Dutton on Yellowstone, raking in loads of cash per episode and raising those ratings to become the #1 most-watched show on cable during its entire run. But oh, how the mighty have fallen since then. Not only was he killed off unceremoniously after an ugly contract dispute, but now the hits keep on coming in the form of a brutally scathing article from The Hollywood Reporter. Now, there's been plenty of reports about Costner's on-set behavior in the past. Jean Triplehorn said she nearly quit acting altogether after her experience working with him on the ocean for months during Waterworld. But these recent words are hitting different. Were they deserved? Is he getting railroaded? I'm not sure the answer, but what is known is he's allegedly so pissed about this article that he's left Hollywood altogether and decided to become a deep-sea treasure hunter instead. Man, having money must be so fucking sick. Before we dive into that dementia, here's some choice nugs from THR. There's a long list of people in Hollywood who swear they'll never work with Costner again. And they all have their reasons. He doesn't always pay his bills on time. One since settled lawsuit alleged hundreds of thousands in unpaid costume fees. He burns through relationships, like his longtime producing partner, whom he sued for $15 million. He ignores advice, even from folks like Steven Spielberg. He rewrites scripts without warning, overrules directors, and on more than one occasion has clashed with his co-stars, including Clint Eastwood, Kurt Russell, and Wes Bentley. The first season of Yellowstone went smoothly enough. Other than Costner, the show was largely populated with relatively unknown actors. Costner was clearly the big fish in this smallish pond. But the extraordinary success of the first 2 seasons shifted the power dynamics on the set in Sheridan's favor. The cast, most of whom owed their newly buzzing careers to the showrunner, were extremely loyal to Sheridan and 101 Studios, while Paramount executives were desperate to have Sheridan's content for Paramount Plus, their new streaming app. As the seasons wore on, Costner became an increasingly polarizing figure, and certain cast members were growing fed up with what several sources described as Costner's diva-like imperiousness. It began, as so many arguments do, at a kitchen table. They were filming on a soundstage in Utah. Kevin Costner, Wes Bentley, and Kelly Riley, playing out another tense exchange in the Dutton family drama Yellowstone. But between takes, tensions boiled over. Costner, both star and executive producer, was pushing Bentley to ditch Taylor Sheridan's script and play the moment his way. Bentley refused. He told Costner that he had signed up for a Taylor Sheridan show, not a Kevin Costner production. Kevin didn't like that, and he lunged at him, says a source who was present. No fists were thrown, but they were in each other's faces, pushing and shoving and just getting hot until they had to be separated. Riley, according to one witness, was in tears. Production briefly shut down. The incident with Wes was the line in the sand. Everything was different after that, says another source who was also present for the fight with Bentley. Everyone loved Wes, and so that really made Taylor upset. Kevin and Taylor butted heads from there on out. It got very awkward. A spokesperson for Bentley confirmed the altercation, calling it a work-related argument during an emotional and physically tough scene, which was discussed and resolved. Costner's spokesperson declined to comment on the near fisticuffs. At his peak, Costner was being paid around $1.5 million an episode, with a potential seasonal payday of over $10 million. Yellowstone was originally envisioned to run for 6 seasons, but a source on the show says, based on its success, it could have potentially stretched to 8 seasons, meaning Costner might have pocketed something like $45 million if he'd continued playing John Dutton 3. First things first, I need to see that fight footage. There's just something so mystical and magical about seeing actors absolutely lose their shit when the cameras aren't supposed to be rolling. Or in some cases, hearing them lose their shit. You thought I wouldn't jump at the opportunity to include Christian and Tom in here? Good for you.